Hi, I'm glad you're here and thank you for choosing Artec. Now, before you dive deeper into Microsoft Excel, there's just a few things. The basic things that you really need to know. And that is the first thing you should know is you should know how to work with a worksheet, alright, or a spreadsheet. So I'm just going to take you through how to do that. So you can see this is the home dashboard of Microsoft Excel. This is Microsoft Excel 2019. So if you're using a different one, it's not that much different. The only thing that is different is maybe a few of these options provided here, but still you have the blank workbook option. So once you've opened this, you're going to, let's start with this here. So you're going to click on that. Then now once I have this, now this is what is called a worksheet. You have the options to add more sheets down here. You can always just click on plus, add. Now it depends on the number of maybe documents that you intend to create, or if it is tables, graphs or something, you can do them in different sheets. Now having done that, let's go back to sheet 1. You can just see there are quite a number of things here. I'm assuming that this is your first time you're trying to use Excel and you might not know what works. So this worksheet is made up of rows and columns. Rows are labeled using numbers, as you can see, and columns are labeled using letters. So you can play around with this rows and columns as much as you want. So if I want to say, for instance, I want to expand a column, that's maybe the first thing you want to do. Maybe you want to type a title. So if I want to expand a column, I'll move my pointer to any area between two lines. Like you can see, my pointer changes to that. So when I press and hold the left button of my mouse and drag, you can see that column A is now slightly, it's more than twice the size of column B. So that's how I can expand my column. If I want to expand column B, I'll put my pointer on the line after the letter B. The same for C. If I want to shrink it, I'll just do that and do this and do that and shrink it back. The same thing applies with the rows. If I want to expand row number 1, I'll take my pointer to the line between 1 and 2. The line below the row that I want to expand. So I'll do that and expand it. Do that, expand it. That is if I want to expand it. Then there's another way. That you can do. You can expand or shrink more than one row or more than one column at a go. So if I want to, let's say, expand this first 5 columns, I'll select the first 5 columns. Now you should note that when I'm selecting, I do not select it within this inner section. I'll select it from the section where the columns have been labeled, because if I select it this way, I'm selecting the cells. So I'll put my pointer up there, change into that kind of arrow, then I will select. I said the first 5. So once you've selected it this way, I'll take my pointer to any point between the labels within the selected sections, not outside, within. So if I expand one of them, the changes will apply to all of them. You can see that. The same thing will happen with the rows that have been selected. If I expand this, now that I have to select the rows again, let me undo that. So I'll have to come back to this other side and select the rows. I'll come to select them. Once I've selected them, if I expand one, it's supposed to apply to all of them. You can see that's how that works. So that works when you want to expand rows and columns. Now one thing that we forgot to talk about is an intersection between a row and a column forms a cell. So if I click on this, you can see I have B4 typed here. This B4 is the way this cell has been named, and it has been named by combining a column letter and a row number 4. So B4 represents this cell here. So we'll look more about that in our formulas section of this video. That is when we'll be doing some calculations. Maybe you'll get to know how these cells work and how important they are. So that's how you deal with columns: expand them, reduce the sizes, or some other time just play around with them. So if I want, let's say, to add a column or add a row, insert a column or insert a row, in a case where maybe I've typed some information, like let's say I type here some names and just say the word names that way. Then I list a few names here. I'll say James, then I'll say Simon, then I'll go with the Evelyn, then I can type another name like Joyce. Now let's say that I want to maybe, for instance, add another cell here and maybe say age or something. Just add anything. So if I want to add a row that is the horizontal lines, I'll just right click and then go to insert. Once I click on insert, I'll be given the option to insert an entire row or to insert an entire column. So if I want to insert an entire row, I'll click on this and then do this. Remember that the row that has been inserted appears at the top of the selected cell or the selected row. Remember, I right clicked on this and inserted. So to show that example in a more maybe clearer way, I'll just click on this and then right click and say insert, then I'll say entire row. If I click on OK, the row is supposed to appear above row number 6 where we have the name Evelyn. So I'll click on that and I'll have that. The same applies to a column. If I want to insert another column here, let me just make some fillings, or maybe just type numbers here. Just say I just want to type any numbers. Just type any numbers there and say and then maybe I'll just use days of the week. I'm just filling data randomly, then I'll just do that. So let's say I need another column in between the section where I have entered the number of the days of the week and where I've made my entries. So I'll just right click here and then do the same thing, insert. Then now I'll choose an entire column, and you note that my column appears on the left hand side of my selected column or cell. So if I want it to appear like after Monday, I'll undo that. Then I'll now right click on this cell here, then say insert. Then if I say entire column, the cell is supposed to appear. I clicked on entire row, insert entire column. So you see I have the column where the position where I want it to be. So that's just how you can maybe play around with rows, columns and cells. You can expand them, you can do that. You can add or remove. If I want to delete this, then I'll just go and say maybe delete entire column, then I'll just remove it. Same applies with the rows. If we have any empty row here, I can right click and say delete entire row. The last thing is that I mean, when dealing with rows and columns, is you want to merge, means combining a few cells or maybe one or two cells. If I want to combine rows, columns or cells, I just select whether it is a row, a column or a cell. I just select, right click, go to format cells. Then once the format cells page opens, I'll click on border. I mean I click on alignment, that is if I want to format, and I'll click on merge cells and click on OK. Then you'll find that these cells have been combined, so they are all like one. The same applies to columns. If I want to combine columns, I do that, right click, format cells, alignment, merge, OK. If I want to combine rows, I'll do that, right click, format cells, merge, OK. So that's just how I do it, and I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and see you in the next video.